Greetings to you this day. This is Michelle Strickland, and I'm coming to you today with my daily theology lesson. It's my daily meditation that I do for myself. I record it and I release it because maybe somebody else out there can get something out of it. It just so happens that I love God. Choose God this day. The bad guys, they sin. The good guys, we sin. We all sin. It's whom you serve. You don't have to be perfect. No one is perfect. That doesn't mean when you come to God's team that you don't have to deal with the consequences for your behavior. We all do. We don't get away from that. But just choose God this day, If and love yourself. Love yourself, because if nobody else loves you, if you love yourself, you'll be okay. If you lost everything you have, if you have yourself, you have everything, you can always rebuild. For those of you just tuning in, I focus out of 3 major religious texts: the Bible, the Quran, and I'm in an introductory Buddhist paperback called The Shape of Suffering. And it deals with dependent co-arising. Without no this, there's no that. And everything we say and do has an effect on our senses. That's just to give you a brief idea. But you can look it up. I also try to rotate these texts at least twice a week. Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on how I'm led to meditate each day. I'm back on the rotation for the Bible. And I'm coming out of Mark chapter 3. And I'm going to start at verse 1. And I don't know exactly where I'm going to end, but I'll have it, wherever I end, I'll have it, on the video. I'll mark it on the title on the video, wherever I stop, okay? And we're talking about Christ. The stories about Christ and stuff like that. And different events that led up to Christ, his him being persecuted and all the different events that led up to that, and him being sacrificed, and I don't want people to get hung up on whether he was actually crucified or whether he wasn't crucified. I'm not going to get off into that, okay? I'm not. It's not our fault if history was distorted, The point of it is that I'm going off of the values and the principles of what these texts have to say. Okay, so I'm not going to get caught up in the debate whether what his name is, when he existed, all of that. I'm not going to do that. When he died, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to strictly read from these texts and interpret the words as they're saying them. I'm not going to get caught up on whether it's real, whether it's not real. To me, they're inspired works, and I live by it. And he entered again into the synagogue, and there was a man there which had a withered hand. And they watched him, whether he would heal him on the Sabbath day, that they might accuse him. For those of you not familiar with Christianity, the Christians on the Sabbath, you're supposed to keep it holy, and you're not supposed to really work or do anything like that, okay? That's to give you an idea. You can look it up. I'm just trying to give you an understanding for why they're saying why this is saying whatever it's saying, okay? And he saith unto the man which had the withered hand, stand forth. And he saith unto them, is it lawful to do good on the Sabbath days, or to do evil? This is Christ talking in parables, okay? That's what they called it. Some people call them riddles, okay? To save life or to kill, but they held their peace. That's typical. It is, yeah. The stories of Christ always trigger me because it shows the deceit and the deception of man, of most people, and they're like that today. They're always, when somebody goes to try to do good and help others to encourage them to do good, then there's always a problem with that, because they're evil-spirited people. And they all want to come up against you because you want to do something right. It's the same spirit today. And when he looked around about on them with anger, being grieved for the hardness of their hearts, he saith unto the man, stretch forth thy hand. And he stretched it out, and his hand was restored whole as the other. That's right, Christ. If you're trying to do something good, what difference what day it is for you to do something what's good? And if he had the power to heal somebody, why wouldn't you? want to heal somebody. We got people that have power to heal people right now. But you want to look at them like there's something wrong with them, when there's something wrong with you. You're jealous because you don't have that spirit. You can have it just like everybody. You can have it just like him. If you embraced God and his light, you don't have to be dark. That's a choice. It's hard regardless whether you're good or bad. You're still going to have hardships. That's how it is. It's how you go about dealing with it. You don't stop having hardships just because you love the Lord. And you evil people, you're something wrong with you. You think because you go through hardships or you went through something that Christ isn't real or that God is not real. It's not true. We all deal with hardships. It's how you get through it. We're humans. We're going to have issues. Change your mind, people. Stop taking out your frustrations on other people because you had something that you had to go through. We all have. Stop using your childhood traumas and your adult traumas to traumatize other people. A lot of us have had childhood traumas and adult traumas. But we still keep going. But I still choose to do good. You don't get away from consequences, good or bad, regardless whether you love God or not. You're gonna fall short, and other people gonna fall short. You know, I used to tell my students when I was an advisor and a counselor, so that they would think about their behavior a little bit differently. I told them, and I used to tell them this all the time. Other people usually feel your mistakes before you do. Other people usually feel the mistakes that you make. Most of the time, somebody else feels it before you do, even though you might feel it, but a lot of times because you made the mistake, it affects somebody else somehow, and they might feel it before you feel it. Does that make it right? It's just how it is. It's how you deal with it. Change your mind. What do you want this world to collapse into itself? You got all these things appearing. That's because they patrolling just like you see the police. Because things are out of hand. Now you can say whatever you want to say to me about it, but I know there's more to this life than what you think. Regardless what's in these books, it goes beyond that too. What if we have other species living on the planet? Do you think that they want your dumb selves to destroy the earth because you're selfish and dumb? And want to get back at somebody because you're mad at somebody that did something to you? You need to change your mind. There's something wrong with you. And the Pharisees went forth and straightway took counsel with the Herodians against him, how they might destroy him. We see that every day. We see that every day. I'm going to stop it right there. So I stopped it I went through from verse 1 to I'm ended at verse 6. I'm not going to make it long. Have a good day.